Hello my fellow humans. I'd like to introduce you to my Patreon page. It has extra videos that you will never see on YouTube and series that will also be exclusive to Patreon. If you would like to burn your eyes out watching even more videos, go to the link in my description. Thank you for your time.
Francine, you be very careful out there today. We're at Terror Alert Orange, which means something might go down somewhere in some way at some point in time. So look sharp!
You know, Dad, it's great that you and your CIA buddies have created a fun little system to keep the masses paralyzed in fear.
You like shaving your armpits, Haley? Huh? Because if the terrorists take over this country, that's the first thing to go.
It's just toast, Dad.
This time it was toast, Haley. This time.
The first 3 sins of this video are just Discount Jeremy pointing things out on the screen.
I realize this is going to be a broad comedy poking fun at the far right, but 18 seconds in and this is feeling all of the broad and much less of the comedy.
That's extremely hypocritical coming from a channel that claims to be for the sole purpose of comedy and yet struggles to land a single joke in any of their videos. Also, just because you don't subjectively like this joke doesn't mean it's an objective sin. I would be fine with him sinning this if he said that it's just his opinion, but he doesn't, which makes a lot of his dumber audience members think the joke is objectively bad.
Steve, you've only got one sister, be nice.
Thinking kindness is directly related to scarcity.
Thinking that narrating what's happening on the screen is funny.
Do you know Lou Ferrigno was deaf? I don't know, somehow it's hard to take him as seriously.
Better than being tone deaf, like this humor is, and even was, in 2005.
Oh, don't get up on a high horse as if you've never said anything that could possibly be offensive. I mean, sure, it wasn't Aaron himself who said that Emma Watson was hot at 12 years old, but it was one of the original CinemaSins guys. Besides, derogatory humor isn't objectively wrong. Comedy is one of the few places where it's okay to make fun of people. You know, because it's comedy.
Also, Incredible Hulk shaming. You won't like him when he's shamed.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Francine, you be very careful out there today. We're at Terror Alert Orange.
Not labeling your fridge chart. As far as I know, you just like vertical color rainbows that allow you to indicate your favorite color of the day.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Good thing he packed his gun with the toaster-only bullets. Otherwise, he might have damaged the counter or cupboards.
He was aiming at the toaster, and he has good aim. How is that a sin of the episode?
Hey, Steve, how's it going with that gal on the lacrosse team I picked out for you?
Yeah, the point of the humor is that Stan is supposed to be a terrible father and chauvinistic pig and blah, blah, blah. So how about 5 self-aware sins? And then we'll just move on with our day.
Wait, how can you admit that the show is doing what it's doing to make fun of people like that and then still sin it? That makes all the no sense.
Actually, Dad, I have decided to go for the brass ring.
Comparing a woman's merit to a copper and zinc alloy aside.
Skip.
Also choosing to eat eggs and bacon when there's a box of donuts nearby.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Alright, I've had it with these donuts, which have gone from 4 in the opening to 5 and now 8? I really don't want to be the donut police this entire episode, so here's a sinner's dozen to cover the rest of the scene.
That's actually a good sin. Well done, guys.
You know, we can't all look like those anorexic aliens in the James Cameron movies.
Movies? Plural? I guess I'll give you aliens.
Skip.
Oh God, I've got a bear claw in my ass.
If you've got a bear claw in your butt, then you put it there, because none of these donuts made it there, unless your butt is what we think is your stomach.
Discount Jeremy forgets he's watching a cartoon.
Hey, George, it's God.
This phone call bit goes on beating off around the bush for quite some time.
Yup, and it's pretty funny, so it can't possibly be a sin. He's gonna add a sin for it anyway, isn't he?
Dad, get off me! I have to study for my term paper!
This is the only issue Haley has with this scenario?
I mean, they are conservatives, so her dad mounting her and feeling her all over like this definitely isn't a new thing.
Hey, dumbass! Your dog's half dead!
Considering he's dragging him and you can't even see the eyes, why wouldn't you assume the dog is all the way dead?
Cartoon.
Unless you're in a relationship with Danny Trejo, you should never sleep this close to a machete.
Discount Jeremy makes a Danny Trejo reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
I was an Olympic skier before the CIA switched my brain with a goldfish.
Well, what were we supposed to do? Just let East Germany win that gold medal? Not on my watch.
So wait, you cared so much about skiing that you switched out the brain of an East German competitor with a goldfish, but you still let them win gold medals in tons of other events? And this is 1986, not an Olympic year, meaning this is some lower profile ski championship that Stan thought was so important. This is the weirdest backstory for a character ever written.
That's the joke.
So even if those glass shards managed to get through the ski mask he was wearing when he jumped out of the mall, how did he get the ski mask off without dislodging them?
Cartoon.
Sorry about that. Once every 7 hours, like clockwork.
This is either a sin for you not paying attention to your cycle or purposely timing your goo splurt for this encounter.
And in either case, this sin isn't valid because the purpose of this is to make a joke. In a comedy. Do you get it yet?
Also, this show does the opposite of Family Guy most of the time, in that it has a much clearer focus and falls more in line with a standard sitcom-style scenario. And the humor can be above average a lot of the time. But then it has to occasionally go to these pop culture one-off jokes that make Family Guy so irritating to watch.
But that's only your subjective opinion, which you didn't address in this sin. Now, as we all know from your less than impressive track record on the TVSins staff, your opinion is basically worth jack shit.
Doris, could you please send in our high school mascot?
Not only is the mascot already there, but in full mascot gear. It must be nice to be a Seth MacFarlane cartoon and not have to worry about things like physics or reality or your audience's standards.
But didn't you just admit that this is a cartoon? Cartoons aren't supposed to follow the laws of logic and physics. That's why they're cartoons. Jesus.
I want to ride the buffalo!
Riding the buffalo. And no, not the fun sexual position where the girl's on top and you grab her breast before screaming a different girl's name. And I mean, I've heard that's a thing.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche. The next two sins in a row are both Discount Jeremy pretending that his personal opinion matters in any way.
Mr. Smith, I'm afraid there's a problem with your son.
Oh God, he's gay. This is it. This is the gay call.
I know I said the thing earlier about this being the point of Stan's character, but that's just hell.
But that's the point of Stan's character. The show isn't making fun of gay people, it's making fun of homophobic people. What the hell is bad about that? Seriously, this sin is way more tone-deaf than I think they intended. He's giving a sin for homophobia when the show is explicitly mocking homophobia. So, in a way, it actually sounds like you're in support of homophobia.
Also, popping that many pills, or any pills, without water.
Pointing this many things out on the screen without getting fired.
I was crazy to think any girl could ever like me.
There is truth to this statement, but it has less to do with looks and more to do with being a terrible person.
Okay. And the sin is what exactly? Are you under the impression that everyone in every show ever has to be an amazing person? Have you never watched TV before?
Shut up, queer! I don't understand. Why you gotta go there?
I've been having sexual fantasies about some of the other guys at school.
What?
Give me that! I'm afraid of these feelings and what they might mean. It's like because I hate myself so much, I gotta point that hate outward, towards you!
You understand this on such a deep level that I don't understand.